Danny Welbeck might be away here. It's a poor back header, and Welbeck shows his strength, and this is Danny Welbeck! Brilliant! Danny Welbeck for Arsenal has got a second, and that's all his own work, because he shrugged off challenges, composed himself.
What does football mean to you?
The world is my life.
Sport har altid spillet en stor rolle for samfundet, og i den globaliserede og fragmenterede verden, vi lever i, er det endnu mere relevant at undersøge, hvilken rolle noget så banalt som fodbold spiller. For er der en direkte sammenhæng mellem fodboldidentitet, eller er svaret mere komplekst end som så? For at besvare dette tog vi til London, fodboldens mekka. Her valgfarter tusindvis af fans til enorme stadions hver eneste weekend for at se deres hold kæmpe. De bruger en stor del af deres indkomst for at sikre sig billetter, så fodbold må betyde noget for dem. I London søgte vi svar på, hvilken indflydelse samfundet og fodbold har på en fans identitet. Til det fik vi hjælp af fans og en sport- og samfundsprofessor.
Come here early as possible, have a few beers and enjoy the game.
Well, I have a long coach journey all the way from Portsmouth, so that's about 2 hours long. Then I jump on the tube with my Oyster card, then arrive outside the stadium.
Get nice and early, have something to eat, have a few drinks with the boys, and then go get the seats nice and early, watch them warm up.
Wake up, get the train in and head to the match, or maybe go to the pub beforehand.
Sure. So I think people hold multiple identities, and they kind of quite fluidly move in and out of different ways of being and ways of acting. So I think when they go to the football, then that's a very specific identity that they kind of adopt or kind of put on for the period of time that they're there. And so, you know, the way that they are, the things that they say, the way that they act is all kind of part of their sort of football-going, match-going identity. That doesn't necessarily mean that they kind of carry that around with them in the rest of their life. You know, they can move in and out of being, you know, a father, a husband, a brother, a person at work, and then somebody who kind of goes to the football and maybe acts out a bit, who knows.
Outside the stadium, we're all completely well behaved, and so whatever happens in the stadium stays in the stadium.
You forget about the work, you have problems that are going on, it's just all about the game, and just like you said, just forget about everything. It's a good place to be.
Zygmunt Bauman talks about liquid life, like we live in this liquid modernity, and everything's much more uncertain, much more fluid. You're moving in and out of these different social situations, and it's your responsibility as an individual to kind of define yourself. And people use football as one way of doing that. Football offers perhaps a simplicity in response to the kind of the chaos and the sort of fragmentation of identity in late modern society.
Some things don't talk about. No, personal life, like we said, we're good friends, so we'll talk about anything, you know, anything that comes into mind. But when we're at the game, it's all about football. I don't want to hear about who Joey Barton's playing for or anything like that, or what's Steven Gerrard doing with his career, or Suarez biting people. I don't want to hear about that. I'm here to hear about Arsenal, and we're talking about what's going on the pitch. We're not here to talk about EastEnders or Coronation Street. We're here to watch the Arsenal and hopefully get 3 points.
It's mainly football, but obviously we do talk about other stuff, a bit of banter.
No, nothing different to any other day of the week.
You're right that it's difficult to generalise, and perhaps increasingly difficult to generalise compared to what role football played in kind of traditional or sort of earlier periods. And I think that goes back to everything that you were talking about in terms of, how sort of fragmented we are in kind of late modern society, and how everyone's sort of scrabbling around to try and define themselves and kind of adopt identities that are gonna sort of serve them well as they kind of live their lives.
Well, no, because I know him very well. So, like, my football friends are my real friends as well. I don't want to just see them at football. I want to see them in general as well, because friends are people for life. You know, the people that are there for you, that I'm there for them as well.
Definitely, yeah. Whether it's playing or meeting, like I said, the whole match day vibe, just it's a big part of friendship.
You can see kind of football supporters as a form of that, especially, people who, I don't know, are supporters of Premier League clubs, but don't live in England, never have a chance to actually kind of go regularly to the games, but they can feel part of a community in some senses through, I don't know, through discussion boards, through kind of supporter groups in their own country. And you can argue about how strong that sense of community is, but to some people it is, and it is an important part of their identity. But trying to pin down exactly what role football plays in people's identity is incredibly difficult. There's no question that it plays a very important role for some people.
The world is my life.
Richard Taggans hovedpointe i løbet af hele interviewet var dog, at man skulle være utrolig påpasselig med at sætte lighedstegn mellem fodbold og identitet.
I mean, the other kind of obvious conclusion that I would draw is that it's trying to make broad generalizations about how football works as a kind of form of identity is incredibly difficult, and how it fits for certain individuals and how they kind of adopt their football identity and then kind of move in and out of it, certainly won't apply to others.
Konklusionen på opgaven må dog være, at for visse mennesker i England spiller fodbold en væsentlig rolle for deres identitet. Og i den forbindelse har overgangen fra det traditionelle til det semoderne samfund betydet meget. At sætte lighedstegn mellem fodbold og identitet er dog en diskussion, der er mere kompleks end som så.